I had a deal going on a great house that my buyer was buying not too long ago. One of the addendums was the funniest, most entertaining addendum I've ever seen because it stipulated that a certain man during the month of April of that year was going to come and extract one daffodil bulb from the flower beds, and they were expansive. So he was going to appear, extract one daffodil bulb, and then make sure that the landscaping was restored to the way it was supposed to be. I got a kick out of this. It was the funniest thing ever. But this was a winter sale, so it was going to be a while before things started blooming again. I was kind of curious about that until I talked to the listing agent because it just sounded so funny to me. After getting the backstory, I understood what was happening because the previous owner was renowned for her daffodils. They were evidently planted all over the property, and people would come to see her daffodils. She actually had some that she created on her own, which was phenomenal. So since it was winter, we really couldn't see what would pop up. And I told my buyer after hearing this and after understanding more about it, I said, when things start blooming, you don't know what's going to come up in the spring. So I probably wouldn't redo the beds completely until I figured out what I had, because there were flower beds everywhere at this house. She must have been just an incredible lady with a super green thumb back in the day. So landscaping is that important. I mean, especially when you have something exceptional like this lady's landscaping. But it is really important to buyers that the house be well landscaped. What I've found though, we think of lush gardens with all of this growth, not really what people are looking for. People are looking for simple and beautiful when they look for landscaping. Having said that, if you have a green thumb, you have my hero worship, because I have to fight the deer and nature and everything else just to have one plant grow up. So I wish I had your talent. But just keep in mind that if you do have lush landscaping that's beautiful, that's under control, I'm not talking to you specifically, because usually people with the green thumbs have incredible landscaping that's well balanced. They go in and they weed and they make sure that they thin out the landscaping when needed. So if your landscaping is perfection, that is only going to help when it comes to your house. For those of us who aren't so great at landscaping, but we're thinking of selling and we're not sure what to do, I always say keep it simple. Have a few beautiful plants out that are planted, that are not crunched together, well mulched. A lot of people go for the rock instead of the mulch. Whatever you want to do, but the keep it simple principle is truly something that you want to stick to if you're not a landscaping pro. Simple is good. Simple looks clean. Simple looks easy to manage, and your buyers want something that's easy to manage for them. So no fault in keeping that landscaping simple and beautiful. In fact, it's encouraged if you aren't one of the top-notch green thumb type homeowners out there. So if you're buying in, like my buyer, if you're buying in the winter, in that late fall winter market, maybe early spring too, before everything starts growing, it's going to be really hard to see what you do have in terms of landscaping. If you know that you're just tearing everything out and starting again, you really don't have to wait to see what pops up. But if you don't have a vision, it's probably better if you do wait and see what pops up and maybe get in the game a little later after you see what's blooming in the spring. That'll tell you a whole lot. If you're buying in full spring, in the full swing of spring, or in summer, you pretty much have a good idea of what you have, so that when the fall rolls around, you'll be ready to go ahead and jump on that landscaping and make the preparations that you want for the following season. If you do buy in winter or spring, like I said earlier, and you want to rip everything out, and that's ideal for you to start prepping that ground beforehand. And when March comes, you can really, really start digging in. And then in May, obviously, is when you'll want to plant. So when in doubt, just go for simple landscaping and you'll just be good every single time. And if you're a pro, again, mwah, kudos to you, because I do not have the talent that you have. And if you have fantastic landscaping, that house is going to sell faster than if you have none at all or very little that gets damaged by deer like mine. So if you have questions about this topic or any other, feel free to contact me via phone, text, email, or private message. And if you're watching on YouTube, click subscribe. Thanks. Bye.